Syria is a very old country. Some people say it is one of the oldest places in the world. A long, long time ago, people built their first homes in this land. They started farms, made roads, and created the first cities. Because of this, many people call Syria the cradle of civilization. This means life began here for many people, many years ago. A big river called the Euphrates runs through Syria. Long ago, families lived near this river. The water helped them grow food. It gave them fish and clean water to drink. They planted wheat and fruits. They raised sheep and goats. This land gave them everything they needed. Near the river, people built cities. Two very old cities were called Ebla and Mari. These cities had walls, temples, and places to trade goods. People bought and sold food, cloth, and spices. These cities even had libraries. In the libraries, people wrote stories and rules on clay tablets. They did not use paper. They used tools to press letters into the clay. These were some of the first written words in history. Life in Syria was full of beauty. The streets were made of stone. Olive trees grew near homes. The wind smelled like flowers, spices, and bread. The sky was blue. The sun was warm. Children played outside. They laughed. They ran through courtyards with their friends. Their mothers watched from windows. Their fathers came home with fruit and smiles. It was a simple life, but it was full of love. Inside Syrian homes, family is very important. Grandmothers cook delicious food. They use spices like cinnamon, cumin, and mint. Mothers tell old stories. Fathers drink tea and talk about life. Sometimes the family sings together. They dance. They celebrate with neighbors. Syria is a place where people care for each other. The culture of Syria is colorful. Clothes are bright and beautiful. Women wear dresses with red and gold patterns. Men wear scarves on their heads to protect from the sun. The music has strong drums and soft flutes. The songs are old. Some are happy and some are sad, but all of them are full of feeling. When you are in Syria, you feel something special. You feel the history. You feel the stories of the people who lived here before. You feel proud. Even if you are not from Syria, you can understand this pride. It is the pride of knowing your home is important. It is the feeling that your land is full of meaning. Syria is not only about the past. It is about the heart. It is about family, tradition, and memory. Even today, when someone leaves Syria, they still carry it in their heart. They remember the smell of their grandmother's food. They remember the olive trees, the songs, and the kindness of their neighbors. Now, take a moment to imagine Syria. Close your eyes. What do you see? Maybe a warm house with bread on the table. Maybe children playing in the sun. Maybe a street full of people sharing stories. This is Syria, the land where time began and where the heart still lives. You are learning English today. But while you learn English, you are also learning about the world. Syria is part of that world. Its story is old, but it is also alive. And now, because you read this, Syria is also part of your story. What would you do if you could visit Syria? What would you eat? What would you say? Who would you want to meet? This is a good way to practice English. Write your answers in a small journal. Call it My Syria. Use it to explore your thoughts. You will learn new words, but more importantly, you will learn to feel the story. The story of Syria is not only about people from long ago, it is also about today. It is about connection. It is about learning. And you, right now, are part of that learning. Keep reading. Keep asking. And remember, the more you understand the world, the more English becomes your true voice. Syria is a beautiful country. But some years ago, something very sad happened. A war began. It was long and hard. Many people were scared. Many homes were broken. Many schools were closed. Streets became empty. Markets were quiet. Places that were once full of life became full of dust and silence. Families had to leave their homes. They walked for hours or days to find a safe place. Some went to other cities. Some left the country. They carried only small bags and big hopes. Children held their parents' hands tightly. Some cried. Some were too tired to cry. But even in the middle of war, something strong stayed alive. That something was hope. In some villages, there were no classrooms, but teachers did not stop teaching. They wrote words in the dirt. They used stones as seats. They taught under trees. In the mornings, children came, not with backpacks, but with dreams. They wanted to read. They wanted to learn. They believed that one day they would go back to a real school. In one refugee camp, there was a girl named Amal. Her name means hope in Arabic. Amal was only 9 years old, but she had a big heart. Her house was gone. Her school was gone. But every day she drew pictures in the sand. She drew her home with a big door and flowers in the window. She told her little brother, "One day we will go back. One day I will be a teacher." There were many children like Amal. Some played games with stones. Others made kites from plastic bags. They smiled. They helped each other. They told jokes. Even with no toys, they found ways to laugh. They were not just children of war. They were children of strength. Mothers cooked food with what little they had, sometimes just rice, sometimes bread, but they always shared. Fathers found ways to work. They fixed shoes or sold tea. They told their children stories about better days. Even when they had nothing, they gave love. Artists painted walls with bright colors. They painted birds, suns, and flowers. They wanted the children to see beauty, not fear. They wanted the people to remember, we are still here. We still have life. We still have dreams. Every Syrian family has a story. Some stories are sad. Some are full of hope. Some are quiet. Some are loud. But all are true. These stories are not about weakness. They are about courage. They are about standing up when it is hard to stand. They are about moving forward when everything pushes you back. Many Syrians moved to new countries. It was not easy. They had to learn new languages. They had to start again. But they did not forget their past. They carried Syria in their hearts. They remembered the jasmine flowers, the smell of spices, the taste of warm bread, and the sound of their grandmother singing. One boy moved to a new city far away. At school, he did not speak much English, but he smiled. He showed his classmates how to make falafel. He drew pictures of his village. His teacher helped him learn words like peace, home, and friend. In time, he began to speak. And one day, he stood in front of the class and said, "My name is Karim. I am from Syria. I want to be a doctor." This is the spirit of Syria. Even when buildings fall, the spirit does not. Even when the world turns dark, Syrians find a way to bring light. Through dust, they still dream. Through pain, they still grow. Today, many children like Amal and Karim are still learning. They study in tents, in churches, in homes. They learn math. They read poems. They speak English, Arabic, and sometimes French. Their dreams are strong. Their hearts are brave. And when you learn about Syria, when you listen to these stories, you become part of the dream too, because every person who learns helps build a better world. You are not only learning English, You are learning how to feel, how to care, how to hope. So remember, Syria is not only a place of war, it is a place of love, of music, of family, and of dreams that do not stop even in the hardest times. Today, Syria is still a land of hope. The war has not ended completely, and many places are still broken. But in some cities and towns, people are starting to rebuild. Slowly, step by step, life is coming back. Shops are opening their doors again. Teachers are going back to school. Children are carrying books, not fear. They walk together in the mornings and talk with friends. They sit in classrooms that are not perfect, but they are full of light and learning. People clean the streets. They plant flowers in the ground. They paint over the walls that were dark with sadness. They use bright colors, yellow, blue, red, to show that life is not finished. It is still growing. Even after hard times, Syrians remember who they are. They remember their traditions. At weddings, they still dance the dabke, a beautiful and powerful group dance. Everyone joins hands. The music is strong, the steps are fast, and the smiles are real. Many young people want to bring new life to old traditions. Some write poems. Some play music on the internet. Others cook family recipes and post them online. They share Syria's culture with the world. They are proud to say, "This is where I come from." One girl, Layla, now lives in a new country far from Syria. She left her home when she was very young, but she did not forget it. At school, she tells her classmates about Syrian food and music. She shares stories about jasmine flowers, stone houses, and warm nights. She speaks Arabic with her family and English with her friends. She writes poems in both languages. One of her poems says, "We are like the jasmine, soft, but never broken." Layla's story is not special because it is different. It is special because it is one of many. There are thousands of young Syrians like her. They live in different places, speak many languages, and study many subjects. But they all carry the same heart. It is the heart of Syria, a heart that remembers, a heart that learns, and a heart that builds. You, the English learner reading this, are now part of this story too. When you learn about Syria, when you understand its people and their lives, you help carry their voice. You help others hear their stories, and you grow stronger in your own learning. Learning English is not only about grammar and vocabulary, it is also about opening your heart. It is about learning how people live, how they feel, and how they rise after falling. Syria's story helps you understand this. Think about your own life. Maybe you are far from home. Maybe you are starting something new. Maybe you are trying hard to learn a new language. Just like Syria, your path may not be easy, but every step is a step forward. There is also something beautiful that happens when people share. A Syrian boy might teach you how to make hummus. A girl might show you how to dance the dabka. In return, you might teach them how to say a word in your language. You might share your own favorite dish. Together, you build a bridge of friendship. If you want to practice English more, you can write your own recipe. Think of one food from Syria and one food from your country. Mix the two in your mind. What would it taste like? What would you call it? Write the recipe in English and share it with a friend. This is not only fun, it is also learning. It helps your English grow, and it brings your cultures together. Syria is not only a country of the past, it is a country of tomorrow, and that tomorrow is being built every day by teachers, by children, by families, and even by people like you who choose to listen, learn, and care. So remember this, even when things are broken, they can be rebuilt. Even when a voice is quiet, it can grow louder. And even when the world feels far apart, stories can bring us closer. The heart of Syria still beats, and now, because you have listened to its story, it beats inside you too. You have just finished a very special story. It was not only about a place. It was about people. It was about Syria. You learned that Syria is one of the oldest countries in the world. Long ago, people there built farms, cities, and stories. They made music, food, and memories. Families lived together with love. Children played under olive trees. The sun was warm. Life was peaceful. But then the war came. Many things changed. People lost their homes. Some had to leave the country. Others stayed and tried to be strong. It was not easy. But they did not give up. They found ways to live. They still smiled. They helped each other. They taught children. They painted. They cooked. They hoped. You met Amal, the little girl who drew her home in the sand. You met Kareem, the boy who said, "I want to be a doctor." You met Layla, who writes poems in 2 languages and shares her story in a new country. These children are not famous, but they are powerful, because they never stopped dreaming. This story teaches us something very important. Even when the world feels dark, there is always light inside us. Even when things are broken, we can rebuild. Even when we are far from home, we can carry home in our hearts. You too have strength. When you study English, you are building your future. When you listen to stories from other countries, you open your heart. When you try, even if it is hard, you grow. So remember this. Syria's story is not only about the past, it is about tomorrow. It is about people like you who believe in learning, kindness, and peace. Congratulations! You have just improved your listening and reading skills in English by finishing this story. That is a big step. Be proud of yourself. What does this story teach us most? A. That history is only about old things. B. That hope can live, even in hard times. Write your answer in the comments, A or B. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel to support our work. Your support gives us the energy to keep making meaningful stories for English learners like you. If you love what we do and want to help, please consider donating. In the beginning, it's very hard to keep going without help. We create everything for free to help you learn English better, but we need your support to grow. Thank you for being here. Keep learning, keep dreaming, and never stop believing in your story.